Discount Podcast.
Welcome in, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast hosted by three people so small you think we were Ant-Man climbing into Thanos' anus to explode.
Hell yeah. As we should be.
am just a small orphan with the powers of a winged rat. I'm Josh, and plugging into Player 2.
Running really fast to reverse the turn of the earth to make it so embarrassing games never happened. I'm Darren, hello. And despite her multicolored hair and gothy outfits, wearing a pair of glasses and deceiving us from her superhero identity.
Sorry. Working with my sisters to fight against the world's ultimate evil, a transgender lobster in a dress. It's Keris.
Mojo Jojo. Hi there. Yes, welcome into another Discount episode. We are here with another fight episode where we're trying to get the best budget game based on shit.
That's our topic this week, shit.
Shit.
I got Conker's Bad Photo win.
It's just one of those things. We're going to look at this week, which is very exciting. I'm looking forward to what we've all been playing. Some good games to come up. But should we have a little look back at last week's episode? Not last week, but like 2 fucking fights ago. Well, a fight ago, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And open the vault.
Do it.
Make some noise. The Uwu vault's missing. I'm missing the gravel.
Yeah, it'll come back.
I miss Uwu.
I miss Uwu too, yes. But yes, we're in the vault, and we're going to look back at last fight's games. So last fight's games were most embarrassing games. Yeah. And there were some real fucking stinkers in there. And you know what? We have to put one of them in the vault. We have to put one of them in the vault.
Yeah.
Which game do you reckon is going to be joining some of the other lights? What other games have joined the vault this season? We've only had Augmented Limbs, which was Bioshock.
Which was Bioshock.
Yeah.
And we had... what the fuck was episode 1?
Oh, God. Who knows?
Who knows? Starting bad.
I don't know. Memory's gone.
No, I was going to say Augmented Limbs for a second time.
Augmented Limbs was also week 2.
It's a real dull play by me. But yeah, which game do you reckon is going to... Oh, first one was turn-based, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, turn-based.
Turn-based, which was Yu-Gi-Oh! Went in there, wasn't it?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Might have gone in the vault, I think.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Choice.
So Yu-Gi-Oh! Went in there,
Yeah.
Bioshock went in there, and which of our 3 embarrassing games of Lord of the Rings Gollum, Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, or Catherine Full Body do you reckon has made it into the vault?
If it's not Catherine, just nuke the vault.
What's your opinion?
I think it'll be Catherine too.
It is
I think
indeed
it'll be
Catherine Full
Yeah.
Body. We love climbing on the breasts of 3 large women called Catherine.
I don't think the other games have quite the cult following that Catherine does.
I think the other games would get bullied by Blood Bowl 2, and that's the comment on their
That's
quality.
pretty-
My
something.
game would be bullied by any of them.
Yeah,
Mega Dimension, there was no way that was ever going to get in there. I guarantee there's a cult following for that game, though.
100%.
But-
Yeah, people are into it.
For the wrong reasons. I mean, they made a second one, so obviously they liked it enough.
It is Victory 2.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's gone in the vault, but fuck embarrassing. Let's stop feeling ashamed of ourselves.
Let's do it.
Let's go and live our lives as the best people we can do and go into the genre by closing the vault. 9 seconds is too long for the music in those moments. I don't know what it is. We need to cut it down,
I
but
snuck in an Uwu.
Nice.
did you?
I picture it like you threw it in as the door was closing.
Which blew like there's pink stars and all sorts going on in there with just fucking neckbeards hanging outside the door now. We'll have to get rid of those. We'll have to pay for some
Clean up.
fucking cleaners. I was going to say pest control
What we need to do is fit a Hitman game into one of our episodes, and that will deal with them.
or Power Wash Simulator. Just clean them down and make them better.
Shoo.
So we are here with another episode, and this time it's no longer embarrassing. We have got another genre to have picked games for, and that genre was what, Keris?
It was superheroes.
I think it was something else. I think it was superpowers.
Superpowers. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
because that makes it a little bit different,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Darren, do you want to explain the difference between superheroes and superpowers then?
Superpowers are the things that superheroes have.
So costumes. There we are. So
Very confusing states of identity.
fair enough. So yeah, superpowers. This is Which is what I mean. That's the difference between the superpowers and superheroes. Superpowers implies you've got some sort of extra ability or specialty that you can do. Normally, that is exceeding what normal humans can do.
Yeah.
Normally from either radiation, a spider bite, being an alien yourself. I don't know, lots of different ways that happens. Mainly superheroes.
Being created in a lab by a guy who just really wants a daughter and ends up with 3.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
I too know of IVF.
That's what X was that? Yeah, it was actually IVF.
Yeah.
They just couldn't read it because the glass broke horribly.
They had to like tone it down for kids.
Fair enough. Yeah, kids aren't allowed to know about IVF.
They're not.
They're like, no, not for you. So that's what superpowers are. What did we all get bought is the real question. We'll do it in the order that they arrived again.
Guys, I got so close to not being last this time.
We did buy these so quickly as well. I have to be honest, they all arrived. In fact, 2 of the games arrived at the same day, but just Pokemon comes
They're like
to one of
half
the
an hour
doors.
apart.
One of the doors comes to one of the doors a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So the first person to receive their game was bought by me,
Yeah.
and it went to Keris. So what game were you bought?
I was bought Spooderman.
Oh, yeah, superpowers.
Yes, Spider-Man on PS4, the first one that they
Also
got.
known as the Great Electric Spider.
Well, that's actually Miles Morales, but that's fine. Yeah.
But you know, the thought save. Yeah.
Yes.
So what's Spider-Man?
It's a man who gets bitten by a spider and then gets powers and fights crime.
You said that like I say what the topics are.
That was the point.
What's Spider-Man?
Yes.
A man bitten by a spider.
Yeah.
Fuck you want from me?
No, he's got this. He works for Doc Ock, who we don't know is Doc Ock right now, really. And we work with him on inventions. He invents his suit. So it's not a superpower. Well, it is kind of a superpower, but he's got. Like,
he has superpowers beforehand. The
Yeah.
suit is just there to be a suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just
No, his web shooter isn't.
no. So his web shooter is
So it is
made.
slightly different. It's not.
No,
like...
that's actual
canon.
comic. That's canon, and also
Right, but can we please bear in mind that I am not a comic book person, and my base knowledge of Spider-Man is the Tobey
Tobey
Maguire
Maguire movie.
film.
where he does have
Where
the
he
ability to
does
shoot
have
webs.
these
Yeah.
abilities.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, oh, okay, he's an inventor. And he's just super good at fighting. That's what I got from this, okay? And yeah, he goes around New York City, he fights crimes, he's going up against this particular kind of gangster boss, as it were, called the Fisk person.
Winston Fisk.
Winston Fisk, that's it, I forgot his name, so sorry.
Yeah, so up against Kingpin, but then also you go against. Is it Mr. Nobody? Is the other character? Yeah.
Mr. Negative.
Mr. Negative. That's it.
I'm
Fisk
really
person.
sorry. His name escaped me. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's the general gist of it. You fight crime in your little suit with your little pert butt, and you go and do things.
I do, but what does Spider-Man do?
It's it's a third-person open world action fighting game, isn't it? There's no way.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. You swing around the world and you fight people
Yeah.
in Manhattan. They've only got. They've only
It
got
feels
the
like
one.
something
Yeah.
Ubisoft would make if they had a bit more creativity.
But it's Insomniac, so it means it was made well.
yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Darren, you were next to receive
so
your
close
game.
to not being
I
there.
know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I received my game like half an hour before Josh did. Boo. The game I received is Life is Strange: True Colors, which is a Life is Strange spin-off game. Apparently, there's a character that crosses over. I wouldn't know. I haven't played Life is Strange.
That's fair enough.
I read it and it was like, oh, this character returning from Life is Strange. Like, oh, interesting. Means nothing. Basically, the plot of this game is you are Alex Chen, who has left a foster home, basically, to be reunited with your brother in a town called, I think it's called Haven Springs in Colorado. And Alex's deal, and the reason that she hasn't found a family up to this point, is she has a power-ish.
Of photography.
She basically can sense people's emotions, so she can see when people are feeling very strong emotions, and if their emotions are feeling especially strong, they basically like overtake her.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things you learn early on is you're trying to find someone and you find him and he's super scared, and she basically taps into his fear and is seeing the world through his eyes. So he's basically imagining a big monster and she's seeing the monster because she's feeling
Right,
his
okay.
fear.
She's a massive empath.
Yes.
Okay,
Basically,
that's
she has the superpower of human emotion. But The plot of the game. I will spoil this game.
As you're saying that, I can see Gareth's face going, "Oh, fuck this, didn't I?"
No, it is like especially powerful.
And we may as well call the loser of the season now, because it's me.
But I'll spoil this game in so much as the back of the box spoils this game. Your brother fucking dies.
Nice.
At the end of Act 1.
Okay.
And the plot of the game from that point on is working out how it happened, basically. You're here and something that wasn't meant to happen did happen and it ended up resulting in his death, and you're trying to find out how it was happened and how you went through it.
Okay.
So basically it's very similar to, funnily enough, probably the other Life is Strange games.
It is.
But my point of connection
Which is more photography.
Yes.
That
My
is
point of
actually
connection to
photography.
this is it's very much like a Telltale game. Where
Yeah.
you walk around and you talk to people and you have dialogue options. Some of them matter, some of them don't. The vibe I'm getting from this is a lot about building up your relationships with people.
Yeah.
So a lot of my decisions I've had so far that bring up the little symbol to say this matters is someone will be like, "Oh, how are you finding the town?" And you can say it's good or it's shit. And if you say it's good, they like you more. Funnily enough, there's a but yeah.
Apart
that's
from the little
basically-
emo kid, yeah.
You're basically trying to go around the town, building your relationships, and trying to solve this mystery of what happened to him and how he died.
Fair enough. That's cool. And I was the last to receive my game from Darren, but it said by half an hour.
Damn it.
And I was bought
Getting
South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is the follow-on from South Park: The Stick of Truth, and probably the last good South Park game they'll make because the new one looks awful.
It does.
This follows on immediately from the Stick of Truth. Literally so much so you are still playing the Stick of Truth when it starts, and then Cartman decides, he goes, "I'm back in time, it's the Coon, guys, we need to go and solve the problem of a stray cat worth $100, and they don't want the friendship pals or whatever they call to get that money, so everyone goes, all right, we're gonna go play superhero instead because it's kids, and they give up on that, and the idea is now you are a superhero and you are going through South Park, again interacting with all classic South Park characters, getting the normal sort of dialogue to find the cats to make the money. But ultimately, if I remember correctly, bearing in mind I have the pattern for this game, but it's been a while, then aliens get involved with it all.
Hell yeah.
And you go into space.
That sounds like South
There's
Park.
a bunch of scenes that are blocked out in this game. They're censored. The censors wouldn't let them through here or in Australia, but you can play them in America. Mainly the one where you have to give Randy an abortion. Obviously,
Because isn't it just like a text box? It
yeah,
just says what the
it
scene
says what's
is.
going on there. With in the Australian one, they have like a picture of a koala crying whilst they're doing it. But it's standard South Park going through, but it's using the people like Mysterion's in there, Captain Chaos is in there, Mosquito, Human Kite. You get all of those characters show up in there, and you as the new kid become a superhero as well to play superheroes. But that's the Fractured But Whole. Any other games you were thinking of purchasing?
I looked mainly just at everyone's favourite PS3 games. I looked at Infamous and Prototype.
I thought about those two
The
again.
ones I really looked at. Other than that, I just had a fucking struggle of a time with this one.
Really?
There's so many games that I couldn't pin one down.
Yeah.
And I couldn't just work out where to go with it. And then I remembered that South Park existed. And I was like,
Yeah.
superheroes.
Yeah.
Superpowers.
It works.
Like, yeah.
No, I totally get what you mean, because I was very much of that thing, and I find this with superheroes in general, like I find the whole market super oversaturated and very overwhelming. So I thought about things like Gotham Knights and stuff like that, but I thought that maybe wouldn't be very good, and I don't know. I looked at a bunch of them, to be perfectly honest, but I just wanted something that wasn't super obvious, I guess, which, in fairness, now looking back on it, stupid decision, but I wanted to be a little off the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of thought about if I was buying for Darren, it'd be different, like maybe Midnight Suns, get him again there. I was thinking about Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, they've got a lot there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Batman games, but it's less superpowers and more
I
he's a
did think about like
superhero.
Arkham, but you can't argue superpowers on that.
Yeah, the Wonderful 101 I thought would have been an interesting one for Darren, because like a Pikmin style one, but obviously didn't go, wasn't purchasing for him. To be honest, I was quite fortunate. I knew that Keris had never played this Spider-Man, and I was like, it's one of those games that I feel like everyone should have a fucking whack at.
Yeah.
So I just bought that straight off
Also,
the
you
bat.
know that Spider-Man is the only Marvel character I can actually stand.
So it all worked out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll find out. But yeah, that's what we did. That's what we bought. Should we actually get into fighting now to find out which was the best of these 3 games?
Fight. Pew pew.
Round 1. Fight!
Stop trying to derail us.
You think after 3 seasons we'd know where the word's coming from?
No, we have no idea. We have no idea. Keris' excuse is only her 2nd season, so she's got another season to catch up.
I'm a baby.
She listened to season 1.
I didn't. No, I did.
Fake fan, fake fan.
I'm joking.
Off of here you go. So if you haven't been here before, what we now do is we fight over 4 specific categories to see which is the best budget game bought. We look at most entertaining, which goes to the person who bought it. Value for money, which goes to the person who bought it. Accurate was the first one, sorry. And accurate, which goes to the person who bought it. Then there's play of the game, which goes to the person who played it. So it's 4 potential points up for grabs, and we want to have a minimum of 2 to win the episode. Or come join. You just don't want to lose the episode.
You don't wanna lose.
First one is most accurate. So which is the most accurate for superpowers? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So, in a sense, this is a superpower. She has the ability to read people's emotions, and especially in the aftermath of the death, what you do is you go up to people and you can sense their emotion and where it's coming from, and then you can use that to adjust the scenario around them to help improve them. You try and make that emotion better. The main comment I'd make against it being a superpower is it is basically a plot line throughout the game of whether it's considered a power or a curse.
Right.
Because she's also, like, overwhelmed by these emotions.
Yeah.
There's a bit very early on where a guy comes in because he accuses the brother of sleeping with his girlfriend. And he's, like, fighting your brother. And you get overwhelmed by the anger and beat the shit out of him and then punch your brother in the face.
Right.
Because that anger has just got into her and she can't control it.
So I just want to clarify, because obviously it's all about big emotions. Like, she sees that monster. Does that monster actually exist?
No.
So realistic, it sounds like it's not like trying to pick holes in it, but like her superpowers aren't really powers. She just sort of feels how they feel, but they're not actually. Does she solve them by like getting rid of the monster, and does that person no longer?
It's
I'm trying to work out how the superpower
in that
works.
particular example, it's like she can't work with him from her stance because she doesn't know what he's scared of, because there's nothing to be afraid of. But she used it to tap into his emotion so she can see the monster.
Right.
So she can like find the angle based on what she knows he is seeing to get him to come over and not be as scared anymore. She's like, I can also rationalize it, I can understand it. And like you have
So her superpower is rationalizing.
basically.
Okay.
But the problem is, like, I know later on she gains the ability to do the other way, basically, where she can influence people's emotions.
Okay.
And that is, like, the superpower angle of it.
Yeah.
But you have to take an angle with the game to get there.
Fair enough.
Because, like, as I say, this main plot line in this game, based around your decisions have consequences, is whether you regard your powers as a curse or a superpower.
Yeah.
So if you go down the curse route, you're obviously not going to be doing as much of that, because you want to, like, repress it and not feel it.
That's fair enough.
That's the only thing. I think it does qualify as a superpower, but
As superpowers go.
as superpower, it's pretty good from like the way she uses it, but also whether it's regarded as a superpower is a deliberate direction you have to take in the game. Otherwise, it's a curse. It's a burden.
Fair enough. That makes sense. I'll go next then, if you want. So obviously, this is a game about being a superhero.
Yeah.
Obviously, you start off as a king to start off with, but then you do become a superhero quite quickly afterwards. It's like 5-10 minutes into the game. Once they sort of teach you the mechanics of what you're doing, you then change your superpowers. And when creating the character, when you eventually do your Instagram page, you you get to choose like one of 3 classes where you can be like it's like a fire shooter or a berserker or I can't remember what the other one is. It's something else, which is the different ranges for you to be able to do stuff. But ultimately, you're playing make-believe. You're a bunch of kids pretending to be superheroes. Because, the Coon isn't a superhero. I mean, there are actual superpowers in these groups, because Mysterion is Kenny, and he can't die, so technically there is a real superpower there. And you got people like, what's his name? Captain Crunch or whatever his name is. Mintberry Crunch, I think it is, who actually is a superhero. But then your superpower is you fart, You know, like it's although you are like a berserker and you punch people, like that's the class I chose for this second run. I think I did fire the first time, and you can change them later on. Your superpower is farting, really. Like you can fart on people to gross them out and things like that. That's like because literally it says superpower and yours says anal next to it.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So it's got a
Same.
bunch of stuff. Yeah.
I was about to make that same joke, but I figured actually if I make that joke,
Oh, we should have let Karis make that joke so we would have got more fans.
But yeah, but you do play as a superhero going around doing stuff. As I said, the only drawback is it is all deliberately make-believe.
Yeah.
You are a bunch of kids pretending to have superpowers, but you are playing as superheroes throughout the entire game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, technically, and I hate to do this because it's giving you a point, but having listened to you guys, I do think that Spider-Man is probably the most accurate. Coming from a Tobey Maguire fan base, right?
Tobey Maguire erasure is happening.
It is because when you play this game, it doesn't feel like you've got superpowers. It feels like you've got inventions.
Okay.
So like the web shooter and it just feels like you're really good at fighting, but you have inventions that help you. It doesn't feel like you've been bit by a spider.
You
it
can
feels
climb
like
the
you're working
walls and stuff.
With spider
with
sense.
the suit.
And you got spider sense the reaction. It's not the suit.
That's the suit.
No, the suit is.
The climbing the walls is the suit.
I don't think it is.
It is.
It might be. I might be wrong.
And the spider senses are literally like towers that are around the city that are
No.
built into
No,
your
your
suit.
spider sense, like when
No.
you counter people in combat, you know
That's-
they're going to
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
He's, I'm fine. Okay. But from a Tobey Maguire standpoint,
But
okay,
Tobey
it's not the same. And Josh is crying, but for me,
He's the real Spider-Man.
he's the real Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Josh, just
He's not even the best Spider-Man.
No, he's not. But do you know what? That's my story, and I'm sticking to
No,
it.
sorry.
So I do think it's the most accurate because he's Spider-Man. And it sounds thing, but it's clear cut. He got bit by a spider. He has superpowers.
The only thing I would also add to that is Mr. Negative clearly has superpowers as well, and so do a bunch of the villains. Like there's superpowers clearly. Like, even if you go, Spider-Man is just a man in a suit who can fight well, which
Absolutely great.
Aren't they all just men in suits quite well?
Men in suits that have a great reflex. I still maintain there's not a lot of superpower there for me. It is inventions, but.
I went for the approach with this character that I normally go with, and it's never worked for me in the past, where I went for quantity.
yeah.
I'm like, there's so many superpowers. It has to win.
I get that, but in my head, I think Spider-Man is the only one with actual superpowers. Because
absolutely.
these are kids that just make believe. I do think if it was superheroes, I don't know. I'd argue with more this because there are more superheroes in it.
I get that.
And it comes with like it already comes with like a superhero name and.
What's interesting about Spider-Man is you don't have he turns into Spider-Man. You literally are Spider-Man at the start, which I like that.
Yeah,
There was no.
that is cool.
There was no.
Maybe
like,
that's where the confusion is for
There's
me.
no origin
He's already
story.
got the fucking
and
suit.
in your head, you're like Tobey Maguire.
What's it to me? Tobey Maguire.
I think he looks more like Andrew Garfield in the original one before they've remade him.
Yeah. It's got Andrew Garfield face.
What
The one that you're playing.
yeah. I mean, wait a minute. Who do you think the best Spider-Man is?
The best Spider-Man
Yeah.
or the best Peter Parker?
Right, don't confuse me. Who's the
I think the best Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield.
And Tom Holland's the best Peter Parker.
Yeah, and Tobey Maguire is the best mix.
Yeah, that's what I would say as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think but if you want more, I like Tobey Maguire because he's college years, which is where Spider-Man should be rather than high school. But that's
Yeah,
another
most accurate
thing.
Spider-Man.
So most accurate goes to Spider-Man. So it's a
Yeah.
point to Josh.
Woo!
Up next, we're looking at value for money. So we're looking at how much we've spent versus how long it takes to beat the game.
Cool.
We'll do it in the order they arrived.
Okay.
So the first game to arrive was Spider-Man.
Yep.
I spent a gentleman's £15. $14.99 is what I spent on it after a bunch of haggling on eBay. Main story is 17 hours. Completionist is 35 hours. All Stars is 27 hours. Mains and Sides 25 and a half. Cool. And it's the sort of game where you play the mains and sides. I feel like it's if you either like it or you don't. Life is Strange came in next. How much was that?
I literally.
$13.99.
Sorry.
We talked about it just beforehand. Main story is 10 hours. Mains and sides is 12 hours. Completionist is 13 hours.
Yeah.
It's because it's episodic. You're not getting a
So
huge.
this one isn't as episodic, but it's
is it
just
not?
you have collectibles.
Oh, there's a few.
So if you are looking at everything in a Telltale way you would, you'll just complete it naturally.
Right.
I've missed a few things because I'm a dickhead and I just walk past it all. But yeah, most of it's like on the beaten path.
Fair enough. And then South Park Fractured But Whole, how much you spend?
£9.70.
Main story, 18 hours. Mains and size, 22.5. Completionist, 27.5. All Stars, 22.5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll be honest, I got the platinum for this and I looked at how long I played it for and it was 24 hours. So it's not far off.
Yeah.
I managed to do it a little bit quicker than it said. But it then sort of, unfortunately, I think Life is Strange is out of this.
Yeah.
But you're not getting 50% more time with Spider-Man, are you?
No.
Completionist is 35 hours, but completionist for Fractured But Whole was it 27.5?
Yeah.
You're not adding like an extra 12 hours
No.
onto the game. But then I would say that, again, it's laws of diminishing if you're looking at it, but that's probably more entertainment, which we're not doing in this.
Yeah.
I think South Park Fractured But
South Park,
Whole
yeah.
wins this because you got it at sub £10, and it's a game that you could, if you go through the whole story, you're getting 18 hours out of it.
Yeah.
And
that's
Spider-Man, you're only getting 17 hours if you're just doing the main story,
Yeah.
and that was more expensive. So
Yeah.
I've argued the whole point there.
Yeah.
No one said a word apart from me.
I agree.
No, I
basically.
think that's
I think
that's absolutely fair.
this is the maths category.
Yeah.
This is the mass category where South Park, The Fractured But Whole, is the most financially viable.
Yeah.
Game.
One week I'll lose value for money this season.
And it
but
won't
not
be
yet.
now. It won't be now.
I wasn't meant to do maths.
Do you want to try and argue for Life is Strange as the shortest
wouldn't.
time?
No.
No, fair.
No, also, God didn't put me on this earth to do maths. He knew I'd be too powerful if I could count.
Earth to fucking slay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll give the points to South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Yep. So we can get it repaired.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh.
Well, that's the whole idea, because
Yeah.
anal's your power.
Yep.
Um,
Same.
Can't make that joke, please. Please.
I'll make it again. It's fine.
right, let's move into entertainment, which I think is the most fought-after category. Darren, do you want to go first with your game and see if it's going to be even considered?
I will go first. I think this is a very, very good example of a game genre I do not much care for. I do like the characters as much as it is a bit fucking manic pixie dream girl. There's a section of this game where she sits and plays Radiohead's Creep on guitar. She plays the whole song and sings it, and you just have to fucking watch it.
I'm so fucking sorry I bought you this. That's awful. That's awful.
How is that not your play of the game?
That's how the game communicates that she feels like a creep and a weirdo, and she doesn't belong here.
Oh, that's fucking vile.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's vile.
It's like the people you encounter. The girl who comes in from the other game hosts like a indie radio station, and
Of course.
you play the jukebox game, which is a lot of fun and was nearly my play of the game. But that's what I do like about this game, is it feels very much like you are in this small town getting to know everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has their very distinct like characterization, and everyone's very unique in the way they act. And like I actually kind of cared when the
Oh,
brother
that's
died.
interesting for you.
Yeah, I know. I kind of felt bad. And it does draw you in. I want... As much as normally in these games, I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm just walking through, I'm just experiencing it. I kind of want things to work out for these people, because as annoying they are occasionally, I kind of like them.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's done well there.
good.
Then.
Yeah, but it is very, like... As it is, the characters are very much in this particular style. They're very much that sort of...
Is it
indie
more like walk around, point click sort of thing, and just talk to people?
Yeah,
is it?
go around,
So-
talk to people, learn more about the town, and sort of go through it that way. There's certain
Yeah.
things you can interact with, and you can learn more about the game, more about the past. And as you go through, the story does unfold. You learn more and more sort of dark shit going on, as
Yeah.
these games typically do. But just in all ways, I found it a bit slow. It
Yeah.
does have interesting things that happen. There's a lot of weird little mini games that come in, like to cheer a girl up. You play foosball with her, and they made a full foosball game.
Oh, lovely.
You play with like the triggers to do the 4 sticks, and you actually
That's
play the
cool.
game and beat
Yeah.
it.
Feels like a proper. Like, it sounds like an episode game where they've gone like,
They've
we're going to put
lots
this
of
in
cool
there.
little
yeah.
shit in there. But it's a bit slow. You have to be really into it. You have to be engaged with the conversations. A lot of it is just talking for the sake of fucking talking.
Yeah.
The emotional powers at the point I'm at haven't come massively into it. I'm using it basically to solve people's problems, but
Yeah.
that's the extent of it. It's basically a gameplay gimmick. I liked it. It's one of my more preferred of this style of game.
More than a Telltale game.
Yeah, it just sort of hit a wall for me. Where I'm like, I do like this, but because of my attention span, there's only
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, that's fair
That's
enough.
fair.
Yeah.
I'll go next because it's actually quite related to what you said. I'm gonna get raked over the coals for this, and Josh might divorce me. Okay, but again, it's a genre of game I don't really care for.
Yeah.
I knew that this was going to be a hard category for me because I do not like superheroes as a genre. I don't like superhero films. I'm not interested in them. It's not a genre for me.
We have a freebies episode where you go on about this for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's great.
So I won't go on about it.
Please
for ages,
don't.
okay?
Please don't.
I just, it's not for me. I like Spider-Man, but much like your gripe with Hogwarts Legacy, I think unless you really like superheroes and you really like open world, neither of which I particularly gel with, it's not a game for me. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it enough to put a good few hours into it, but it's just not. I enjoyed like the little puzzles, like the things like when you have to put all the circuits together and stuff. Like that was really
Got
cool.
a lot of cool little mini games.
I thought the combat was really nice. I liked the combat, but I just didn't click with it. I think that's the best thing I can say, is that I can understand why so many people like it. It's a categorically good game, but it's just not for me.
My partner Lauren tried to play it, and she said much of the same. She was like, I want to like this more than I do.
I really did.
I do want to, and this is not a slight on you here, Karis, I just want to say, I watched you play some of the game. It's clear that it's not your bag, because like the combat and stuff, I know I'm busy dodging, I'm throwing things around and doing, like, it just all is second nature to me. And then I watch Karis and she's like crouched around just webbing people and then running away, then webbing some more people. And I'm like, why are you fighting like this in my head? But I was like, I just, in my head, I couldn't work out what's going on. And like, I know the swinging wasn't always perfect for you as well.
I will talk about the swinging, don't you fucking
But like,
worry.
for me, it just all
It's a real gamer's game.
Yeah,
is how I feel about it.
It's really well put together. Insomniac put together a good game. As you said, as you can see, it's a good game. It's just not.
It's well put together. It's just not for me. And I think if it was bought for somebody who like genuinely does like those type of games, they'd have a lot better to say about it.
I'd have a great time.
But it's not a game for me personally.
South Park. If you don't like South Park, you will fucking hate this game.
It's a South Park fucking game.
It's South Park. I mean, I like South Park. I remember, so I've got the platinum in this. I bought it. I asked for it for Christmas one year and then bought it for myself before Christmas and then bought a second copy of this
Amazing.
game.
We've all been there.
I bought it because I was like, oh, no one's going to buy me this one. And then someone did. And I enjoyed it. And it was at a time where I was watching South Park and I was doing it. I've now gone back into it at a time where I'm not watching South Park as much. And I don't think I've matured past South Park. But I was like, some of this isn't hitting quite the same as it could. However, I did laugh and I still had a good time. So the way this works is it's a party builder, turn-based, almost like there's like grids where you can attack and there's like all works out. You've got effect statuses of grossed out. You're going off and collecting things. So like you've got a couple of collectibles you need to do. You need to go by is it Yowie drawings of like Craig and Tweak, like you collect those to give back to get stuff. You also collect you're also grabbing different items which are funny. You're interacting with people. Like one of the early things, you're walking along, it's at night whilst you're still playing things, and you can see drunk Randy keying his wife's car, calling her a bitch. The next day you go there and he gives you a quest to find out who's keying his wife's car, and it's stuff like that where you get those moments and you're making like you said, like the Coonstagram page because you're the coon and you're doing all this sort of thing. It just feels very South Park throughout and through, which is good because it is 2D and that's the way it should be done, and it is interesting and it is fun. Yeah. It's just, I think it's one of those games I could see easily playing the whole way through. And to be honest, I played longer than I thought I would do to try and find a play of the game, so I was enjoying it, but
having a good time.
It very much has a length of time before you go. You know, it's like when you're watching. People don't tend to binge South Park. I don't think you watch a couple of episodes and go, that's probably enough. And that's sort of how you feel with this. It handles well. It does what it needs to. I actually think it's quite a good tactical game. Quite limited in what you can do, and the fact you can build your party and stuff is good, but it's a bit limited in that you're getting the enjoyment out of being a fan of South Park. Like you're seeing stuff going, I recognise that, I get that joke, I get that joke, that's good fun. It's an enjoyable game. It is an enjoyable game, and there's a reason why I did it. I think it's better. No, I don't. I think Stick of Truth is better. This is more accessible, though. Okay. That's the way I would look at it. I think I really like Stick of Truth, and I think it worked better for what it was trying to do, whilst this is very good for what it's doing. But I think the other one was more fun, in my opinion. But either way, it's a good, fun, enjoyable game.
Yeah, so like the first one was to make a beloved South Park game, and this is to make a South Park game sequel.
Yes, and they do it well. And I think there are people who'd like this more as well. Like it was just the first one.
I really do want to give it a go.
So yeah, really, really worth a go. I enjoyed it. So it's entertainment now. I've played 2 of the games.
Yeah,
I know which game I actually enjoyed more playing.
I think Spider-Man is the better game.
Yeah.
If we go off entertainment of who was the most entertained by their game.
Yeah, but that's not the category. It's what's the most entertaining game. And I like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'd happily go back and play again. I went back and did Spider-Man 2, which is essentially the same game, and I would play Spider-Man 1 again with it because it's the right game for me. This, I was like, I don't really want to go back in.
Yeah.
And it's a minor thing, 'cause it's a good fun game. That's the only difference. But, I have no issue with either or. I just think, in my mind, I think Spider-Man is more entertaining for me. That's all it is.
Yeah, I like Spider-Man more as a game.
Yeah.
My only contrary to that is that of the 3 people here, Spider-Man is actively not liked by one of them. I think you wouldn't have a great time with South Park, but I think you'd get on with it more.
I agree with that.
I think the average entertainment would be better.
Had our games been swapped, this would be a different episode, because I think I would probably enjoy
Yeah, probably. I mean,
the stupidity of South Park.
Yeah.
and it is just stupid. That's the thing. But I mean, you guys can both vote for South Park if you think South Park deserves to win. That's fine.
But that's the thing, is it's difficult because in my head I'm like, Spider-Man deserves to win, because if it was anybody else playing it, I think it would win outright.
I'm
but
happy to give it to Spider-Man. I think it is the better game. My only point was that if we're going for a podcast
for who entertained, then...
The average entertainment of the game would probably be higher for South Park than it would for Spider-Man, but I can't deny that I think Spider-Man is the better game.
I mean, the only argument I would make is that I played about 2-3 hours of this, and I was already starting to get bored of it. That's the only thing I would say. Well, so you probably put about 4 or 5 hours into it, and there were moments you didn't like. So it's probably the same level of entertainment to boredom.
I'm happy to give it to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Sorry, Life is Strange. You didn't even get a look in.
Rightly so.
It's
The
good.
worst thing is that you say rightly so, as if I didn't turn to you and be like, hey, this sounds cool, what do you think? And you're like, yeah, great. So I've been set up for failure here, I feel. So that Josh
we can actually pull back the full curtain and find out that's not true.
I want to give the other half of that discussion where Josh went, do you want to know what game you've got? And I went, yeah. And he said the game, and I went,
After it was already bought?
After it was bought. When it was on the way, I was like,
Yep.
Oh my god. This may be the last episode that I...
Cool. That is most entertaining. So that's been Spider-Man got their points. That's 2 points to Josh right now, which means I am
Josh gets a point.
Yes, 2 points to Josh.
Now we'll go to play of the game. Anyone got one they want to go with immediately?
Listen, I'll go with mine because it's not really a play of the game. I've really struggled to get a play of the game. As I said, it's partly because it's just not the game for me, but I'm just going to count the many times that I swung fucking face first into buildings.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
to
half the fun of the game.
And into people, and I just could not get the fucking hang of the swing in here. I made if what I was doing was in a real Spider-Man film, it would be an outright comedy. I could not get it right. At one point, I thought, amazing, I've got the hang of it, and then dived face first to the ground from a skyscraper and thought, this is bullshit. I'd so be dead. Yeah, just for me, it was that. I just couldn't swing at all without making a mockery of myself.
I will say, as much as I liked the swinging Spider-Man, I remember starting Spider-Man 2 and swinging and being like, fuck, I don't remember how to do this.
Oh my god.
I got straight back. I don't. In my head, I'm like, this is exactly what I would. This is how I would program it.
Something about like the momentum of it took me a few swings to get right.
A few swings. I played it for hours, and every time I smacked into the bottom of the building.
I platinumed 1, so I was jumping into 2 and being like,
I platinumed 1 and Miles Morales, and then I did 2.
Yeah.
2 then has the fucking glide suit, which
the glide suit's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, I genuinely... between, I think the diving head first into concrete multiple times, and then swinging face first into... I was like, how am I...
There are times where I've jumped off and gone, I should be able to swing here, and there's no buildings around, so you do just fucking plummet to the ground.
You just fucking sack it. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, that's my play of the game. The many times I've fucking... trying to commit suicide, apparently.
I'll go next. Normally in games like this, I find them a bit dull, and I find when they try to introduce a bit more sort of puzzly aspects, they fall a bit flat because they're still contained with this. There's one in this that I actually thought was really fucking cool. There's a little boy called Ethan who is the son of your brother's girlfriend.
Okay. I thought it was going to be like a 16-step thing there.
No, son of your brother's girlfriend. And when you first meet him, you make friends with him, and he gives you a comic he's been writing.
Okay.
And it's like a 6-page comic, and he's like, I'm going to go and explore the mines later. There's like a tunnel I found a way into, and I think it'd be cool. And you're like, cool, kid. Go have fun being in danger.
Yeah.
And then you have the option to sell him out, and I didn't sell him out because I'm no snitch. But later on, he doesn't come home, and you have to go and find him in the mines area. And there's a point where you get to the mines, and there's this big gate. And what you learn is that the mines line up with the comic book.
Oh.
So the pages of the comic book line up with like
fun.
features of the mining area. So you find this big gate with a symbol above it, and that's the entrance to the monster's lair. And you're trying to work out where he is. And what you have to do is basically follow the plot of the comic.
To work out where... Oh, that's really cool.
So there's like a zombie mannequin in front of a campfire, and in the comic, that's like a body of like a guard, and there's a blood trail leading to a door. So you go to the body and you find where the blood trail would be, and you follow it to a gate, which you then pull to find a side door to the building. And then he's in this lair, and it's like, oh, there's the big like skeleton of a dragon. And it's like, you're no danger to me anymore, but you might be my help. And it's the fucking conveyor belt of the mining equipment.
That's fun.
So you
That's
have like,
very
okay,
cool.
he climbed onto that, and he went to that building, which is the watchtower. So I have to go to there, and then I find it. And because the start had been a bit slow and it's just having these conversations doing that, it was really cool to have this element of like, okay, I now actually have to puzzle solve.
Oh, it's
I have
actually
to get
a game
the pages
now.
of the comic
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and go, okay, I have to follow the blood trail to the door, and then I have to go up to the top, and that's the skeleton, so I'm going over here. And the game, I think if you take too long, it does signpost you a bit, because I looked up and there was a decision I missed, which is in line with that, and I just get past it. But it was cool to have these moments of like, okay, I actually have to puzzle solve, and I can follow this, and it's in the spirit of the game. It's this kid's comic, and I'm reading it going, oh, that's the dragon skeleton. So he's over there, so I have to get over there.
That's really
thought
cool.
that was fucking
Yeah.
cool.
I love it when something comes together. You go, that like that's innovative. That's a really cool
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
mechanic they throw in the game. I wish I had something as innovative for South Park. There are several moments I thought about. One is the very first interaction you have as your character is you having a shit.
Yeah.
You have to do a little mini game to make sure your poop comes out properly, and like you pinch it off right. Yeah, that's one of the collectibles is all the toilets in the town where you have to poo or squirt. There's like 3 different ways to get it out. I really like that Randy moment. There was also a great moment where you have to fill out your cards and you have to find out what your gender is, and it's like, it's like Mr. Mackey, like male. Okay, are you cis? Are you trans? I'm cis. And then he calls your parents. Goes, are you aware that your son's a cisgendered male? Because he doesn't have to be. You have to be dealt with that. You don't have to stick with the hand you're dealt with.
That's fun.
And when you leave the school, a bunch of rednecks pull up and they go, oh well, there's a fucking cisgender male. We don't like your kind around here. And then they fight you because you're a
That's a
cisgender
lot of
male.
fun. I like
Like
that.
that was good. I really enjoyed at the very beginning. You're fighting a dragon, and you're about to do the fucking killing blow, and the game stops. What the fuck's wrong here? And then you all go, car, and everyone steps out of the road to let a car go
I've seen that
past.
bit,
And you're like,
yeah.
that's fun. There's the abortion. Like, there's lots of good moments. The moment that I really liked is when you go to the chat, you go into the priest to speak to him because you're meant to be finding out your fear, and you go into the back room, and he goes, closes the door, and he goes, now, and you go. Mind you, your superhero origin is that you saw your dad fucking your mum, and you're like, "It's the man I trusted." And you're in there trying to discover what your fear is. You got calm going, "Yeah, what's your fear? There's your fear."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, is it this? Is that?" And then like one of the classic aliens walk across, goes, "Boo!" And then he goes, "Hi, I'm a Catholic priest. I'm just in your imagination." And then another one goes, "Me too." And so's this background. And then you have to fight 2 Catholic priests. And when you beat them, the other one goes, "I can't leave any dark rooms are in here with you guys around. Get out of here!" And like literally, they come in and they fight you. And the first weapon they pull out is a fucking anal bead flagellating whip. You're like,
Good.
this whole sequence is absurd, classic South Park comedy moments.
It's a bit like, I'm shocked this wasn't one of the text boxes.
Like this made it in. You're like,
Yeah.
how did this get through? And it's just great fun of watching it. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is South Park being South Park.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're either gonna love that or hate it, depending on your South Park.
Yeah.
Opinions then? What is the play of the game?
I liked the
I like
strange
that.
one.
Oh, okay.
I like my one.
You like the South Park one?
I like this.
That's fair.
I also like the South Park one, although I think I really do like that a game does that, but a game shouldn't go, hey, this is our... we finally put a puzzle in here after 2 hours. That's...
It's not like the first thing.
No.
It was just cool that it was like you're looking for this character and you're
Yeah.
basically following his...
Yeah.
It's definitely
His path,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's fair.
I actually feel bad a bit because that is, as you said, it's really innovative, it's really clever. That's fucking stupid.
And that's all South Park. There is nothing innovative in it. It is just stupid. But there, like I said, I play a game there, but that was from like 2 hours playing, and I rattled out like 20 fucking...
Yeah.
There were so many moments I could have chosen that just did right.
Yeah.
You even meet a little girl and she goes, I wish there were more female superheroes, so you have to go back to Mr. Mackey to change your gender to go back there to...
That's funny.
It's stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
like... And also, again, to choose the difficulty of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blacker you are, the harder the game is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
South Park
just...
knows what it's about.
Yeah. So South Park for play of the game, is that where it
think
ended
so.
up?
Yeah.
Another point to Josh.
Cool.
Josh
hate
wins the
this.
episode.
I hate this.
You did this.
3
hate
points to Josh.
I hate
Darren's like, if only I'd won fucking South Park for most entertaining, then it would be a joint victory.
No, I'm watching Karis go, I hate this, as if she's like, oh, I killed this guy.
I know.
Man,
Like,
if that red button's done so much bad to this world. You
feel-
pressed it. Ah!
do you know what I mean? I just, as somebody who came in and was already not a fan of superheroes, and I'm on a gaming podcast, and I feel like people who listen to this will be like, oh my god, I don't like superheroes as it is. And then
To hear the full rant, please go back and listen to our
Yeah.
previous episode.
and then to not give it to the game that is objectively, but I don't want beef with people I don't know.
Nope, that's fair.
That's fair enough. But yes, that brings us to the end of another episode. But before we go, we need to find out what our next fight category is going
Oh,
to
Jesus.
be.
We do. We've got a weird one here.
Go for it,
I think
Darren.
between episodes, we're going to have to work out what this actually means.
Oh, good.
okay.
Good.
Our category for the next episode is critically panned.
Oh!
So bad games.
Bad games.
But how bad?
And how do we score it?
Exactly.
Because you can't have something that's entertaining. Oh, you can have something entertaining that was...
That's the
critically bad.
thing, yeah.
We'll have to work out how
The
this
most
score...
entertaining thing we could find in this game.
Yeah, but that's the
potentially.
thing. Of like, if we're doing critically panned, what are we counting is the critical rating? What does that have to be beneath to be like
Yeah.
valid? In the same way we
Ooh.
had platinum in a day and it had to be in a day. This
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have to be like below a certain number.
I am excited for this one.
Interesting.
I think it's gonna be fucking-
And Lord of the Rings Gollum cannot be picked
No.
again.
No.
That's a shame. Anyway,
Tell you what can be. No.
don't hide it, don't tell us.
I know what I want to buy. I just wish I was buying it for Josh.
And you aren't, sorry.
Not. I don't
but
think Karis will like what I want to buy, but
you think I would
Isn't
have?
that the point?
Oh, I don't know.
well, maybe.
Who knows? Anyway, that brings us to the end of yet another episode. If you did enjoy this, do make sure to check us out on YouTube, out on Twitch, on Instagram, all at disccountpod. If you want to see our individual ones, that is at discount Josh, discount Darian, discount Keris, where we post things sporadically through the months. And that's where you can find us for all our things. We are on every platform, so you've probably listened to this. You probably found the platform you want to be listening on, which is good.
Good for you.
I don't think there's anything else I need to say here.
Don't think so.
Just Happy New Year!
2024.
2024. Woo! Hopefully, if we've made it that far.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, thank you all for coming along. Thank you for being our player 4, and we will catch you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.